Hey guys, it's Brian. Today I wanted to talk about my standing wheelchair and my standing desk that I have at work. This is something that I just recently got, probably about 4 or 5 months ago, and it's really helped me out because I've been able to stand for a couple hours a day at work, and that has helped my spasticity. I'm not nearly as tight at the end of the day. It also seems like it just makes my body work a little more efficiently. So first things first, I wanted to kind of show you this standing wheelchair again. I've showed this in a previous video before. I've made quite a bit of modifications to it just so I can use it for longer than I used to. I used to stand for maybe half-hour max, whereas if I'm at work, I try to stand for at least an hour at a time. So I put my J2 cushion on it. I had to remove the foam cushion that was here before. I also stripped it down, painted it, because I'm just weird like that. It used to be silver, so I made it black. Put different wheels on it, different push rims that I could get a little bit more grip. This thing weighs a ton, so kind of pushing it around the office was kind of a little tricky. I also modified it. It used to only stand up at like an 85-degree angle. Since I'm standing at a desk, I modified it so it can stand up a little more vertically. And I also put a different foot plate on it. These pads are actually made out of a Nerf football. I just cut it in half and took an old t-shirt and made that. So yeah, it's just made it so I can use it for a little bit longer at work. The desk itself raises and lowers with these buttons over here. You can have presets, so like the number 1 preset is where the desk is at right now in its down position. This position of the desk is what I would use if I was in my normal wheelchair. If I was going to get under it with this wheelchair, which is a little bit higher, I would just hit the 2 button, and it literally raises it up enough so I can roll under it. So then the next step is just transferring over into the standing wheelchair, and I'll show you how I stand up. So here's how it works. Okay, so now that I'm in the standing wheelchair, it's pretty much just a push of the button, and I hit that button at the same time. So what I'll do is I'll just pull up to the desk. I kind of have this piece of tape on the ground to kind of give myself an idea of where I want to be when I go to pull up to it. I don't lock in the wheels or anything because once I get to the standing position, I can push myself backward or forward to kind of control where, how close to the computer I am. So I'll just hit the button, start standing up. About at this point, I'll hit the number 4 button. And I usually have some spasticity right when I get to the top. You'll probably see it here in a second. Right there. Just gonna kind of let my body adjust, and it'll stop eventually. It seems like anytime I go from a standing to a seated position, I deal with those spasms for quite a while. But yeah, at this point I can just kind of sit here, and I've got everything that I need within reach. My printer, my scanner, everything is pretty much where I need it to be, and I just work from here. So like I said, about an hour or so, and then I'll sit back down. Usually in an 8-hour day, I might stand for about 2.5 hours. I kind of figured out that that's kind of what works for me so far. I think as I get used to it a little bit more, I might be able to stand longer, but I've only been doing this for about 4 months so far. One thing I did want to talk about is right at first, I did experience some lightheadedness. At this point, I've been doing it for so long that I don't have any problem with getting lightheaded or anything like that. I just had to let my body adjust to it. One thing I do notice as I'm standing up is it's kind of like it's a little bit harder to breathe just because I don't know, since I'm paralyzed from the chest down, I don't have all those ab muscles to help me breathe anymore. So if I'm talking on the phone for a long time, sometimes I'll find that I get a little winded a little easier. I just noticed that was kind of something that was a little weird. What I do, I make sure I do, and it's kind of strange, is I wear an undershirt that kind of tucks all my guts in, and for some reason that just makes it a little bit easier to stand and breathe and do all that. So yeah, that's pretty much it. If I want to go to stand or sit down, I'll hit that number 2 button. I'll lower this down at the same time. Yep, that's pretty much it. If you have any questions, let me know. Thanks a lot.